Shelf Trackers, welcome back to another product review. Got a really good one for this week. What are we doing, Ash?
We are looking at solar panels.
Solar panels, no funny joke.
No, not today.
Not going to make fun of me being in a flannel when it's like 32 degrees.
I was waiting for later, but anyway.
So I've got no spare work shirts and I just saw this in the cupboard and I'm dripping with sweat under this. So let's get into it and get this a nice quick one. So I'm going to actually do a proper run through, one of my proper reviews with both the 400 watt AllPowers and the 600 watt AllPowers, and talk about why I reckon you need to go bigger panels and not smaller ones. We've got a King's 200 and a Renogy 220, and you'll see from this why I heavily recommend going the bigger panels. And I also want to touch on, by the end of this video, I want to basically have you guys converted. So rather than doing, what, 1,000, if you're lucky, 1,000 watts on the roof, why you should just get one of these and leave whatever the watts is that comes on your van. Because yeah, to get that on your roof, you're looking probably $2,000 to get 1,000 watts. And if you've got a new van, you're going to have all hatches everywhere. You're going to have to delete air conditionings, or you're going to have to delete antennas. Versus 600 watts, 10 times cheaper, which you'll see from the specs, and you just chuck it out and away you go. Yeah, while you're driving, you're not going to get that, but at least you're still going to get your 400 that your van comes with, and then when you get to camp, just set one of these up and away you go. So we're going to look at, Ash, what are we going to look at?
The good.
The good.
The bad.
The bad.
Your thoughts.
My thoughts.
Is that it?
What about the specs?
Oh, the specs.
And are we going to do a demo?
I don't know, are we?
Yeah, we're going to do a demo. Because we're going to show, like, today's a really good classic example of what an actual day is probably going to be like. So I'll do a demo showing you what you're actually going to get from a solar panel. And then that's why you should go big ones. So what are we into first?
Specs.
Specs first. Let's get into it. Okay, this could be a bit dangerous. Ash, you've been left in charge to get the specs.
Lucky me.
So we're going to do side by side, literally to one and the other. And then I can have the things drop up either side. So 600 watt, 400 watt. So what's the 600 watt first stat you're going to give us? Price?
All right, price.
Yep.
So the 600 watt comes in at $5.99.
Yep.
And the 400 comes in at $5.49. However, you have a discount code.
Do I have a discount code? How much do they give off?
10%.
What? So it'd be Yarns 10?
Yarns 10.
Yarns 10, so what they come through with the discount?
That's the 600 will come down to $5.39 and your 400 to $4.94.
So let me get this right. 600 watts of solar for 549 bucks.
39.
539 bucks.
Correct.
Versus chuck 600 watts of solar on your Caravan, well over $2,000.
Yep. Anyway,
okay, that
next
makes a lot
one.
of sense.
I
could see why people do it.
Shush. For the weight.
Yep. This will be interesting. Let me take a guess. Heavier, lighter. So 600 watt?
12.5 kilograms.
Yep.
400 watt?
Yep.
18.5 kilograms.
Fair big difference. So the reason there is a big difference is the 400 watt has legs, so you can actually keep it on an angle, which does give you a higher increase of solar depending on the time of day. Midday, the sun's obviously directly above you, so you'll have to lay it down flat anyway.
All right, warranty. They both come with a 2-year warranty and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
I like those 30-day money-back guarantees.
Your cell types are a little bit different.
Stop it, really?
Really?
Well, they're made by the same company.
On the 400, you have polycrystalline cells.
Yep.
And on the 600, you have monocrystalline silicon cells.
Oh, it's interesting. So we'll see which one performs better.
Okay. Your voltage at max capacity.
Yep.
So the 400 is 37.4 volts.
Yep.
And your 600 is 44 volts.
44 volts?
Yep.
52 volts?
It said 44 on the website.
Okay, well 52.8 volts on the thing. It didn't get to that when I tested it, so I reckon that's probably right.
Okay. And your max ampage at 12.
Hold on, before we move on. No. So the voltage, make sure you keep note of that, because not a lot of MPP regulators or DC-DC chargers can handle the bigger voltage of this panel. So I bought a Victron, which is a 150, which means it can then do this bad boy here. So you got to make sure it can actually handle the voltage, where I was amazed. My Renogy's, both my Renogy DC-DC and MPP couldn't do it, and my EnerDrive couldn't do it either, or my Hardcore. My Hardcore couldn't do this voltage either. So Victron for the win there. So yeah, take note of the voltage. This one will work on pretty much every single DC-DC MPP.
All right, and then lastly, your max amps at 12 volt.
Yeah, so this is one that we worked out basically. If you're getting the full voltage and the full wattage, then this will be, you'll never see this number ever with any panel, but this is the maximum you could get from both.
So in the 400, it's 31.25.
31, yep.
And in the 600, it's 46.8.
Geez, that'd be nice. Almost 50 amps per hour coming in, but it'll never ever achieve that. It doesn't matter what panel you buy, you won't get the advertised watts or the advertised amps, because yeah, unfortunately you've just got too many areas. You've got all the panels linked together where you can lose voltage. You've got the cable where you can lose voltage, so you won't ever achieve those, but in the demo we'll see on a typical sunny day what you'll get from a panel. So we're into the good next.
The good.
Into the good. Okay, into the good things first. So I'm going to start with the 400. So really handy that they give you this massive pocket, humongous. Look at the depth of that, where you can store all your cables. They've also give you a whole bunch of really cool connections and different bits and pieces in there. So I didn't know that cable was in there. They give you a cable to go into, if you've got one of their AllPowers portable power stations, so that goes into the power station. This would be a cable I've made up, which I didn't know I had in there, and that's because I put the Anderson on it. But they give you a lot of carabiners so that you can actually hook this up and suspend it from the side of something to get even more power. What else have they got in here? They've given you another cable, which I actually have no idea what this is for. But yeah, it gives you your standard solar in, and then it looks like it gives you, oh yeah, so that's like a direct feed into a 10 volt, and then you can change over. Yeah, pretty cool. So they give you that as well. With the 400, as I mentioned, you get the stabilizing legs. It makes it heavier, but it does mean that you can lay it down and get the angle to get, it's claimed you get sort of around 20%. From most companies, they say that you get 20% by having the legs. The handle makes it really convenient, and it's not going to rip, nice and strong, makes it easy to carry, as well as they actually give you clips so that it doesn't swing open. So that's all the good things about the 400. The good things about the 600, nice and easy. It is super light, incredibly light for how many panels you're getting. Again, you get the handle. Again, you get the big massive bag on the back. You get all the cables as well that I mentioned in the other one. This one they actually give you Velcro to suspend it from. And do they give you anything else in here? Another cable. That actually looks like, so that's an extension, that's pretty cool. They give you an extension cord for the panel. And they also give you some carabiners. So lots of free stuff that they give you, which is really cool. The other good thing I want to touch on for both of them is because the voltage is so high in both panels, it means you can do massive runs of cable and your voltage drop will be a lot lower, because that volts coming through is so much higher than, say, a 200 watt panel, which normally runs around 21 volts. So you're still going to get a bit of voltage drops on those, versus this you won't get anywhere near as much. So big plus is, yeah, the volts that are on them. So what should we go into next, Ash? The bad things?
Sure.
Into the bad things.
No! God, please, no! No!
Okay, into the bad things, as I am absolutely dripping with sweat. I will hurry up and get this done. So there's not honestly too many bad things, but the one that you guys know that I hate, and this is only because we live in Australia. Every other country just doesn't have Anderson plugs, but I really wish this would come with Andersons, because as you can see, all my cords down here are all Anderson, so then I've got to make my own adapters up, or you can buy them. You can buy adapters now, which will change from this, but yeah, that's just an Australia thing. We're the only ones that use Anderson, and I'm assuming that's because we do the most four-wheel driving. So we've learnt that Andersons are just far superior to anything else, but these terminals are pretty good. But as you can see, my battery doesn't have somewhere where I can plug this style into it. And what's even funny, like their AllPowers unit, their power station, that also doesn't plug into it. So they also need to do a different end on that as well.
There you go.
Yeah, so to me, yeah, Anderson would be a win. Other than that, with both of them, I don't actually have anything else bad. They've been pretty rugged and pretty tough. Yep, nothing else bad to give. That one's a bit heavy. Let's say that it's a bit heavy, almost 20 kilos. Okay, into a demo.
Let's do it.
Let's get them set up and see what they can actually produce. This will be the interesting one for you guys to see. Okay, so for the demo, I'm going to make it nice and simple. I'm using a shorter cable, so we'll get the maximum we can. Got it going into my Victron MPPT and then into my Big Ways battery, just because that's nice and simple to plug it into. I'll chuck on the screen for you now. The battery's sitting on 81%, which means we will be 100% doing bulk charge. Those that don't know what bulk charge is, as you get closer to the end of a lithium battery, it basically drops down the maximum that it will accept, the maximum amount of amps, and you'll be getting less in. So we're well and truly going to be getting the maximum in. Which one should we start with first, Ash?
400.
Start with the 400. So this will be interesting. What it'll do, it'll show you guys you're never going to hit the maximum watts. The reason for that is, Ash, if you pan around the sky, yeah, the sun's out, but there's a whole bunch of clouds around. There's also a haze in the air, which today is going to be horrendous. There's a massive, I'm guessing, is that the humidity that you can see?
That's what I can feel.
Yeah, so because there's humidity, it's going to drop these humongous. But that's why I recommend going a big panel, because when you see the drop that these are going to get, it's got nothing to do with the quality. It's across the board. Doesn't matter what brand you get. You won't ever hit that target. But if you start off big, then at least you're going to be putting in a fair bit of power still. Okay, 400 first, nice and simple. Plug it in. Okay. We're off and racing. So what I'll do, I'll actually swap over to the Victron app as it pre-works out the volts and what's in everything for me. Okay, we're coming up. So we are sitting on 245. I'll see if I can get a print screen of it. 240. There you go, 250 watts. We're sitting at 19, between 16 and 19 volts, and we're getting in 15 odd amps, and then it shows you there it's in bulk stage. We're getting up sort of 17, 18, 260 watts. There we go. It seems to sort of stable now around 260 watts, 17 amps out of, you don't have your stat sheet anymore, do you? But anyway, the maximum watts was 400, and as you can see, we're only getting 250 on relatively sunny day, and we're still putting in 20 amps, which is pretty bloody good. I'm happy with 20 amps. And then imagine if that was basically a 200 watt panel. So we're, what, 250 out of 400, what's that, a quarter? No, a little bit more than a quarter. So anyway, out of a 200 watt panel, you'd be lucky to get 100 amps today. So definitely shows you it's worthwhile going bigger. Let's now swap it over and see what the other one gets. See how much of a difference we get by not having it on an angle. Take that out. So 600 watts is the maximum. Let's see what we get to. $300, 302. $287, 19 amps. So that shows you, so it's pretty much now gone stable. 285, 19 amps. So it was what, 17 amps and 260 odd, whatever it was. So it does show you the massive difference with having it on angle. Let's see if I now chalk this up. can I get more? Chock that panel up. What did we increase to? No, not much at all. Still sitting around 280 watts out of the 600. So that shows you massively there. While Peter tries to ring me, Peter, stop ringing me. That shows you why I recommend going these bigger panels. So we're still getting in 19 and 17 amps out of these, and I normally run them side by side, which that's what, Ash, how good's your maths? 19, 17?
30 something.
Yeah, 30 something watts we're putting in, versus this one's meant to get almost 50 by itself. Yeah, if we weren't in Queensland where it's humid as all hell, you're gonna see better. So down New South Wales, Victoria, you're gonna get a hell of a lot more out of these panels than we are up here in Queensland. But it shows you why you 100% should go bigger ones rather than small, because on a day like this, you're sitting there and sweet, nice and sunny, you're gonna chuck up my panel and you're just gonna get stuff all from it. Into wrap up and thoughts?
Yep.
Wrap up and thoughts.
I am thinking here.
I guess the big question, Ash, which one would I go? Sort of interesting. It shows you that the legs definitely help, as that's almost pumping in as much as that bad boy by having the legs. The only downside to the legs is it does mean that as the sun moves, because in the morning you're obviously going to have it facing east in the east coast, west in the west coast, and as the sun moves it's going to come up directly on top of it, which means you're then going to have to drop the legs down and get it vertical, and then in the afternoon as it comes down the other side you're going to have to spin your panels around. So yes, you're going to get more as long as you're around to actually do all that, versus the one that lays flat. It lays flat and you don't have to do anything with it. So if you're lazy, go the 600.
Why can't you just lie that one flat?
Can lie that flat, but then you're not going to get as much as that.
Okay.
That's going to reduce that massively. So yeah, to me, if you're a lazy person and you just want to set it up and forget about it, go the 600. It'll be lighter, it's quicker to set up, and you'll capture more by just laying it on the ground. Versus if you're happy to sort of move your panels around, go the vertical, you'll get, for less money, you'll get almost the same amount of amps coming in. Would I recommend going one of these versus a smaller unit? No. 100%. Would I recommend going one of these versus on your roof? 100% no, because you've got to remember on your roof it's flat. So you're looking at this style with all your panels, versus you can go a 400 and capture more sun than you're going to capture on your roof. And as I mentioned, the price is crazy. What, 500 bucks, 530 something bucks for Ash's so over it. She just keeps making faces behind the camera.
It's so hot, hurry up.
As I mentioned, the price, it's like, yeah, 1/5 the price or whatever it works out. I'm not good at maths, but yeah, 2,000 odd bucks to do your roof versus this 525 bucks, and then you can use it with your car, you can use it with your caravan, use it with whatever you want. 100%, get yourself an AllPowers system, AllPowers unit, solar blanket, discount code YARNS10, save yourself some money at checkout. They've been nice enough to give it to me to pass on to you guys, so you may as well keep the money from them. What do they got to do, Ash?
Like, comment, subscribe, website, Facebook, Instagram.
Got it. Bingo. Let's get out of here. It is hot as hell and I want this flannel off. See ya.